What's going on? I go by the name of Andrew Dada, and you are now tuned into the What's Going On podcast. Today I'm joined by a very special guest of mine, man. This man's a good friend of mine for a long time. This man has the nuttiest jokes you could ever know. However, he's probably one of the smartest people you ever know, and that's facts.
So you gassing right
Nah,
now.
nobody's gassing, bro. You know what I'm saying? No gas, all brakes. You know what I'm saying?
That's facts. That's facts.
Man, yo, give a warm welcome, my man Alex. What's going on, man?
What's going on, my G? You goody?
Good, man.
Copacetic?
Copacetic.
All right, all shuts.
Oh, jeez.
No malarkey over here, young boy.
Childish.
yo, the kid never grow up, bro. We just getting money over here.
That's facts. Hey, man, you ready to get into this topic?
Absolutely.
So, I kind of wanted to delve into a topic that I felt like I always wanted to talk about. And I feel like you were the perfect person just because of what we experienced, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this topic is talking about like our struggles in college. You know, now that we're like young adults now, we both have career jobs and all that. I never took the time to really reflect on my journey from college to where I'm at now. And speaking like you kind of made like so I don't really count freshman and sophomore year of college as like experience with college because I never really took the harder classes until I got to my junior and senior year. You know what I'm saying?
Especially for our major.
Yeah. So like, and actually that's when I met you.
Yeah. I remember the day.
We can let's start cracking into it, man. Let's talk about how we met, bro.
Okay, so
you know what I'm saying, like. It was, what was it? We were in a class for electricity, right?
Yeah.
The test was coming up, because mind you, that class was hard. Like, it was hard. You have to get an 80 to get an A.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that. 80 to get an A.
Yes, sir.
That was you had 80 or higher, you get an A. And it was actually that hard. And nobody knew what was going on half the time. What else? Like,
people were struggling.
Super struggling.
Yeah.
And with that, we had to take a midterm. I think that's when that's when I met our friend Melvin, our mutual friend Melvin.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Yo, I know a guy that's like smart that he gonna try to study with us." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna need that ASAP."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we took a test. I think that was the time we went to like a building and so we both went to Temple University. We both were in the same major. We were both bioengineers.
Yeah.
So like there's a building called Anderson Hall, and then on the 11th floor is a good study area where you can go and actually study, even though it's like a different hall for like English and all that. But like 11 o'clock it's cool. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's when I met you just because of the fact like you were just like, "Yo, what's up, G?"
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Yo, you Alex?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, I heard you the man for the plan." And then we spent all night. You want to go talk about it, man? We spent all night trying to find a study guide.
So let me give a little backstory. I was an electrical engineer my freshman and sophomore year, but let's just say things didn't go too well.
No,
not at all. And it was more for my mom. She wanted me to do electrical engineering. Mm-hmm. So my heart wasn't into it. I wanted to be a doctor at that time.
Yeah.
Now I don't, but at that time I definitely do.
Right.
Did. So pretty much I had a hard time with my mom, and then I lied to her and changed my major. So
don't try this at home.
Oh no, because don't get it twisted. My mom smacked somebody in the face. But
she hit him with that Mike Tyson.
Yeah, you seen it. It's different. But yeah, so I changed majors to bioengineering, and I knew Mel from freshman year. We both struggled with a lot of classes, and like I won't even go too deep because I know you probably do a episode of Melvin where he'll talk about that. But, yeah. We noticed Andrew because there was only 4 black people in the
4 black kids. Well, like it was like 5, but like we were like the only black males, I think.
Yeah.
One of 4 black males.
Yeah. Because shout out to Kalaja, but Kalaja he knew his stuff, so he didn't even study. Like we ended up linking with him later, but that's another story.
That's another story for real.
Yeah. Yeah, we noticed. So Mel told me about you, and I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." Because we were already studying together. Like I was already, because I was teaching him all this stuff. Because I actually did well in those classes. And I met him. I was like, "Yo, what's good, boy? Like, what's up?" And then started studying like every Sunday.
Yeah, every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
But like, you can go back to that. Going Sunday, going back to that original part where I first met you. Let's talk about the fact that we made a whole study guide that night, and we still end up failing.
No, you ended up failing. I aced it.
Yeah, I ain't.
Bro, all right.
Well, I didn't fail, but like I did pretty bad. Like it was kind of bad, and then it was just like, no, it wasn't even just me too though. A lot of people.
Oh no, a lot. I was one of the only people that got an A on that exam.
So I'm talking about smart as hell.
It was. Look, I knew, but I was working with the professor. Like there was a lot of things involved. So I was just at that point. I saw my man struggling. I saw my other man Mel struggling. I saw my friend Nivi struggling. Shout out Nivi.
Shout out Nivi. So like, yeah, I think, and then at that point we just like, you know what? I'm gonna start going to you too, just because even in the lab too, like, cause the same guy that taught the lecture class taught the lab for it.
Oh my god!
And my lab partner was not the best. I think to put in kind of words. So like, I still had to work with Alex and Melvin.
Yeah, I remember we would finish our lab, and then we would have to go over to his lab to make sure it's set up right, get everything done. And this is not simple at all. This is very intense, very like hard work. His lab partner would just not show sometimes, so we ended up, I think, during your final project we just submitted it 3 people as one.
And then we just talked to the professor. He was like, all right.
Yeah.
It was just that bad. He was like, all right.
That was a dash to turn in two two lab projects in one night. Like, we was doing something different out there.
We was going to do it all, man. But we made it.
Absolutely.
We made it. And it's like, going back when we talk about the studying, we also turned to friendship because we started like, I guess like certain study habits we had were like sometimes we would argue about a problem too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But like that was just a struggle with college. We went through a hard major, man. Like a lot of times I feel like I cried in that major.
Difficult. It was very, very, very difficult.
Like, what struggles did you think you faced? Like, you know, speak on your struggles. Like, I know for me it was always the harder courses got. I always tried to talk to the teacher, but like, I felt like even as much as I studied, I couldn't properly grasp once I kept practicing.
Yeah. For me, I had to figure out a different way of learning.
Mm-hmm.
So the traditional way of going to class, sitting down doing the problems, like that just really didn't work for me at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the way I would do problems is like I would literally sit in the book without any reading of the text, only get equations and just writing equations until it clicked pretty much. That's how I did it for most of my hard engineering classes because the way it's kind of taught is that they teach you a little bit of the theory.
And then you find out the rest.
So I couldn't, like, the way my mind worked is that I had to physically solve it, like, let's say Newton solved, like, E equals mc squared. Like, I literally had to figure out where he got these equations, like the prior equations to it. Like, in calculus, I would have to like write down every step from straight algebra all the way down to figure out how to do derivatives or integration. Yeah. Because the way they were teaching me, I didn't wholly
get it.
Yeah, I didn't wholly understand the theory behind it. So, and a lot of our classes is really, like, a lot of the hard engineering classes is really about theory. It's really about understanding the theory behind the class.
Yeah.
Because if you don't how can you do the problem if you don't understand what it means? Like, if I drop an apple, you just know it falls on the ground. Do you know why it's falling on the ground? Do you know the reason why
it's falling on the ground?
Exactly.
Like something like, do you know why if you were the mechanics of running?
Mm-hmm.
You know, remember, like it was senior year, we had a biomechanics
Yes,
class,
biomechanics. Yes.
and then like
classes.
Great teacher. I love my professor.
Shout out Spence.
Shout out Spence. However, like that, bro. When I realized how hard or complex, I mean, honestly, you should expect it though. Like the complexity of walking or running is crazy, but like seeing that equation to find out how to do it, and then we have to use the MATLAB program.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know, MATLAB is like a coding program in which you can make graphs, pro code, like you can do also get it. You can go in depth if you go to Python. You can code robots and all that.
Yeah.
Like with with that, like you see the mechanics of running with all these slip graphs and everything, and I'm just like, yo. And then when I go out and I tell people when I went go to school for, they're like, yeah, you smart, yeah. And I'm like, nah, geez. It was definitely a lot of hard work involved in that.
You know, people think it just comes overnight. It's like they don't. Like no one sees when we're in the engineering building until like 4 in the morning.
Working to the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like no food runs.
What is it, Templeton Panaki?
Yeah. Every day, like.
Yeah, I had to stop that after a while. Don't worry, I don't do that no more.
Yeah, man, we don't do that no more.
But yes, like, but how do you feel like it formed our friendship, right? Like, how do you feel like that kind of just made us stronger, in a sense? Like,
I mean,
yeah, go ahead, man.
Like the way I feel is that being around someone for that long of a time, there's either you're gonna hate them or you're gonna love them. There's no way you're around a person for as much time we spend together. Is that me?
No, that's me.
Oh, my fault.
You're cool.
Yeah, like the amount of time we spent together was like ridiculous. Like you saw me. I remember. That was the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl. If you gotta know, I was born in West Philly, then moved out to Jersey for a little bit. But I'm a diehard Eagles fan.
Let's go.
Yeah, we were studying. It was Carson Wentz blew out his ACL.
Mm-hmm.
My man watched me cry. And you know what happened? Miriam's girlfriend, Miriam, who's like one of my best friends as well, just laughed at me. Like, is that
low key? I low key laughed too because I'm a Saints fan. So like, it was kind of just funny to me.
But like things like that, like us roasting each other, us like understanding we talk to each other. We're both Nigerian, talking about our struggles as Nigerian kids in American society. Like those different things is what brought us together, and like it was bound to happen. It was just bound to happen anyway. Especially for how little diversity was of color
in that major.
We
had to.
Yeah,
we definitely had to.
It was literally just us. It was literally just us. Like so, there was no other thing than to stick together. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and to piggyback off of what you said, it's like, yeah, I felt like the same way. I felt like when I first met you guys, you and Mel, I was like, yo, these people are actually not only smart, not only collaborative, not only do they emphasize our teamwork, we had a lot of teamwork going on. These guys also are like funny, just like clowns. Like very entertaining. Like we would study and we wouldn't just roast each other. We would roast everything else.
Everything.
We would just be like, and then it would be to the point like even translated to like how we used to study for interviews together. You know what I'm saying? Go on conferences to find jobs. Man, we went to Detroit, DC twice.
Detroit was crazy.
Detroit was crazy. You know what I'm saying? What else?
It's like that type of camaraderie. I can't speak, English. Obviously, engineers, that's not my expertise. But it's that type of camaraderie that brought us together. Like times that we went to Detroit and we was like, all right, we gotta break down what jobs do we want. Yeah. Applying for hundreds and hundreds of jobs. Oh my God.
even like when we were in Bethesda, like Bethesda, Maryland, we would sit there. We wouldn't even go to sleep. Everybody else go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
We would actually stay up till like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. Sitting looking for every
reach
single
job to go and tell them like, oh, we applied to this job. And then one time we had to lie and tell this one company we that we applied to their job. I think we told this one company that we actually applied to the job, and she's like, "Oh yeah, what position you applied for?" And we looked at the nearest paper, and I think we said that position.
Hey, yo, I remember that exact thing, yo.
And then I think she actually like believed us,
and wanted us back. We couldn't believe it.
We were like strange, like
different.
We really finessed, but like it was so cool though, because it taught me certain skills that I see myself using in the real world, right? The fact that I could talk to people, and I relate to people, and we can work together as a team as well. Because I feel like a good skill to have is your people skills. It's one thing to be smart; it's another thing to be a people person.
The study sessions that we had in college built what I'm doing right now. I'm a consultant for, I can't say the company, but it's a major fast food chain. If you put it 2 and 2 together, it's near you. You've been there. And like those things have helped me tenfold. I mean, those personal relationships come in handy when you're at a business event or like a worldwide event, or you're talking to a manager of a company. Like creating those small little things that you can reach out and say, we connect on this is like one of the key things of being successful. And like that's something that I learned like in college, where a lot of the people that I was talking to did not have the same exact background as me. I mean, Dada had similar background as me, but a lot of the kids that we depended on, because like in bioengineering, even if you didn't like everyone in the thing, you had to depend on each other.
Otherwise, you're lost.
Yeah, like the kids that didn't depend on each other and didn't reach out, even though they didn't want to reach out, were the kids that ended up getting left back. And like, it sucks, of course, but you have to recognize like who are the movers and groovers in your
area.
In your area,
you know what? Like feed off them.
Yeah,
read them.
Understand what they do. Go study with them. Like, go sit down and like, okay, you do this way. Oh, I never
stood it.
Yeah,
but like that's the key foundation of any type of business, though.
No, for real.
Because if you're not willing to have an open mind, if you're not willing to say, try this way, if you're not willing to say, like, oh, I see your way. Maybe my way is not as good. Maybe they think your way is better. But like, if you're not willing to have that type of conversation, you're never gonna grow as a person, right? And I think, like how you said, like the fact that we reached out, we were just like, yo, this class is too hard. I know you know how to do this. You know what I mean? We have to tell people. We all have to finesse. We all have to, and then we even build up the karate with those type of people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Where like they because like we didn't know them before, but like if at my graduation day, we knew every single person that was graduating with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We knew every single person.
And they loved us, man.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I'm a clown. Like, I'm not gonna hold. I'm a clown, and the clown never changes. Like,
that's a fact.
Yeah, you know the funniest part? I'm scared of clowns. I'm so serious. I am definitely afraid of clowns.
My man said he saw it and never looked back.
Bro, you think I saw it? I've never watched a clown movie. I'm definitely afraid of clowns.
Oh, that's actually
and it's crazy because the company I work for. Put 2 and 2 together. Yeah. Double entendre. Don't even ask me how.
That's always, I swear, being on you is funny as hell, man. Like, you gotta just like, you see what I'm saying? Like, we actually have laughs. This is actually like a normal part of our conversation, like all the time.
Oh, bro, it's always off the cuff.
And it's just like, but like, also like, I did learn how to struggle though, because there'll be times that we never understood how sometimes we did not pass some of those quizzes, right?
No. Biomaterials?
No, didn't make sense.
Bro.
Didn't make sense.
Less up to Nivi Ken. Oh my God.
So not even just biomaterials, research methods.
Oh my, fam.
And then like I had to literally force myself. But it's in those classes that you struggle that you actually kind of retain the information better.
Oh yeah.
I think because you take it seriously, like going back to like bioelectrical with your help, with like the professor's help. I took another class similar to that. I passed the class, of course, but I had to take another one for my major. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So like I took another electrical class, and bro, I passed that class. Bro, I passed that class with flying colors. The teacher was like, he's a bioengineer, but yet he's at the top of the class.
Better than all y'all. All y'all electrical and mechanicals, y'all be talking. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't saying with the mother. I ain't saying nothing, but
you know what I mean. You know what I mean? And it's just like I think about it. It's not even just because it's not because I'm smart. Oh yeah, I'm smart. I hate to my own horn here, but like I consider myself an intelligent fellow. However, I also pride myself in putting the work in. Like I feel like when we put in the work, like you and I, now when we Collajo, Nivy, like we all put in that work.
Teaching each other, reteaching organic chemistry for biomaterials before the final.
I think that was the only organ I ever took.
Getting Miriam to teach us biochemistry. Oh, y'all don't know, man. Like
yeah,
the struggle.
We definitely struggled, man. But like it's cool because now we it's that camaraderie that we even see now that like after graduation, like we're still talking, we're still keeping in contact.
Of course, even with me, I'm 1,000 miles away. I'm in Chicago. I still try to keep in contact at least like a week or every 2 weeks or something. Just make sure my people are good back home.
Yeah.
Like,
likewise, man.
Because these are people that I've grown up with. Even though like I was already, you could say I was already grown. I wasn't grown. I'm still not grown now. What am I, 23?
23.
Yeah, I'm not grown, but like these are people that have contributed positively to my life, so I have to do the same.
Yeah, and I say likewise for myself. Because you really brought out and touched on a great point. Like I'm not considering myself grown yet. Like yeah, I'm 23. Yes, I'm out of college, but that doesn't mean I'm grown. Like my mentor used to always say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I was like, "Huh?" And he's like, "Well, you technically didn't grow up yet. You're still 23. You still have a whole life ahead of you. You even do your masters. You even get married yet. You don't even have a house. You live in apartments. No knock to anybody that still lives in apartments, even though that's not what he means.
I pay an arm and a leg for mine, so
So it's like, but like I knew what he meant. But like you're not really settled down or ready to settle down. So it's like, what more are you like worried about? Like the future is there. You just gotta worry about your present. And with that, I always felt like I always made good decisions when it comes to friends, just because I know like the friends I have are gonna benefit me in some type of way. Not only, and I'm gonna benefit them as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You got anything more to add to that, bro?
Nah, you tied that up perfectly. You blowed that joint up.
Okay. Well, since I blowed that joint up, we're gonna go on a brief interlude, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about something that I feel like we should probably really talk about now, and that's like our reflection on looking back and what when we go back and tell like our past selves how we how what advice or tips we should give our past selves in order that they can maneuver college a lot better. What you feel about that, man?
Yeah, I can get into that. That's my bag right there, bro.
All right. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, this is what's going on, man. We'll be right back. And we're back. What's going on? What's going on? I go by the name of Andrew Dada, and you are now tuned into the What's Going On podcast once again. You know what I mean? I'm with my good friend Alex. Alex, you know what I'm saying? What's going on with you?
Good, man. Let's get it. Let's get it.
So I know before we had the interlude, we talked about, I guess, our struggles and how we kind of formed a bond, a friendship, going back to like even our first episode. Like certainly in our first episode was actually kind of popping up here. Like, and we talked about like different things about how it kind of shaped us, right?
Mm-hmm.
How with certain skills that not necessarily we might not apply certain classes that we use now, but like the skills we learned in those classes and how we were able to apply them to the real world, you know, interpersonally and outerpersonally. And also I'm talking about how socially outside of work, outside of school, we were able to form a bond that was kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? And I guess for the final topic, I want to kind of go into the fact of let's think about 23-year-old Andrew, right? 23-year-old Alex.
Mm-hmm.
What's out? When do we met? Like when we were like 20, 21?
2021, yeah.
What do you think you could say to that 20, 21-year-old man, like going back then? Like, what type of, if you could self reflect on yourself, man, like, what type of things would you say? What type of tips? What is he doing right? What is he doing wrong? I'm gonna let you go first, and then if I say my piece on that.
First thing, stop throwing parties. You're stupid. Stop throwing parties.
Why you say that?
Because like you're not good at it.
Alright.
You're not good at it. But I mean, like I wasn't the only one. But I mean, I was at a time in my life where I was throwing parties while doing electrical circuits homework in upstairs. While there's a whole basement party going on downstairs. There was a lot. There was a lot going on in my life.
Yeah.
A lot of things that wasn't school related, and it took me some really down times. And like, really, I'm getting kicked out of school. To like, yo, bro, like, figure stuff out. You're not gonna like if, at this pace, you're not gonna graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So like earlier, recognize like what do you really want to do, and not what your mom says, and like actually do things that yeah for me and that are gonna help me in the long run, not just to make a quick buck in the short term. You know.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing I do, um, figure out if I want to go to med school or not earlier, like that, because a lot of my thoughts at that time was improve my GPA to go to med school.
So can I halt you right there?
Yeah,
Can I go back to where you said the quick buck before I talk about the med school?
yeah.
So like, was that? I know you said that you were doing it for your mom at first,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like, but like, was there a part of you that said maybe I want to do this for myself as well too? That quick
Yeah,
buck, like, maybe it was part of you were just like, maybe the quick buck is probably the best way to go. I'll
mm-hmm.
probably be stable. Like, I'll probably, I'll probably cry about it later, but like, and
Yeah.
then I make money.
I mean, cause like there's people like we know you and I know people that are very successful for what they do, and they started here. Like they started throwing parties here, and that's their life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that wasn't my thing. It was mine was juggling two things at the same time.
Yeah.
Juggling engineering and throwing parties and doing lots of different events and all that stuff was not. It was not the right two things to be juggling. More thing like what I learned later on and what I ended up starting doing was juggling engineering and research.
Right.
Because like the research I did for the last 2 years of my college career got me my job.
Mm-hmm.
The app that I did my junior year, the end of my junior year of college, got me my job.
Yeah.
Got me multiple job offers. Actually, it's
Mm-hmm.
those type of things where I actually used the skills that I was good at
Yeah.
to get a long term buck was like the things that helped me in the long term. So it was just more of prioritizing myself. Yeah, I guess that's the word. Setting my priorities straight.
Yeah.
And understanding that this isn't it.
Yeah.
You know, because like a lot of kids in college is like, all right, like this is the best time of my lives, and I say no, it's not, because like
You still got a whole life ahead.
right before COVID, I mean, we were having the time of our lives, we was like college kids with money. So like,
Beautiful morning.
cash, bread, dollar bills. I mean, like,
I want the money.
I know,
Money
but like,
club.
you gotta see like the long term success. Like,
Yeah.
and especially because I've seen my family do it. I've seen like my mom build a multi-million-dollar company just off real estate.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, and like I want to do that too. Like I know something I preach that a lot. I preach about real estate and owning my own business, and then like not wanting to work past 26. Like there's a lot of things that I preach, and there's goals in mind that I do want to accomplish.
Is there a part of you that tells you to slow down?
For what, you know? It's just like
right.
I do like I think slowing down, like you should like I think taking time to appreciate what you've done was something I didn't realize until until graduation day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It wasn't until I hugged you and I hugged Mel and I was like, yo, bro, we did this.
Yeah.
I really realized like, okay, like today is the day
you can make something
but
yourself.
Yeah. But until then, and then like after that, until I reach my goals, I can have fun while reaching my goals, but there's no stopping me from reaching my goals. You know,
that's a
fact. There's things that I want to accomplish at a certain age, and everything I'm doing now is going towards it. You know, like the things that I've been preaching through college, like the first thing finding my portfolio, owning multiple business. I said we would always talk about we would always talk about real estate during our
study sessions.
During our study sessions because like that was something I was interested in. It was something that I wasn't getting my degree in per se, but it was something that I knew in the long term would help me out tenfold rather than the degree. Because you got to remember the degree is a piece of paper. You know, it's about the experience that you got in college, the people that you meet in college, because who knows, in 20 years, that one person that was sitting in that one class that might remember you may give you a loan for $1 million to start your business.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So,
and it's crazy, like, I can also say, like, in terms of the tips I can give myself, it's kind of similar to you, man. It's kind of similar to, like, well, the thing was, I kind of stopped partying sophomore year anyway, for other reasons, but, like, I guess it just been like, man, you should have still been on your grind, bro. Like, stuff like, I didn't join this organization called Nesby, you know. Meanwhile, I should have just been doing that because I probably could have landed an internship a lot sooner.
Yeah, joining Nesby is a big one.
You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff like, I could have done research my freshman year. Why I had to wait till junior year? You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
And it was like, my priorities weren't straight because I just wanted to live in the thrill instead of really realizing that the thrill is in the end game. It's in my goals. You know what I'm saying? It's in the fact that I could do so much more in what I want. I mean, granted, I'm still happy where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? It's just that if I go back myself, I would have just said, man, you gotta pick up the pace.
Because we're like, the goal is to try to be better than our parents, you know, and especially as black males, we gotta like make sure that there's extra pressure on us to be successful.
Yeah.
So there's a little thing in the back of your brain that's like you cannot fail, and that's something that drives me every single day. Like it's something that where you see things on the news and you see like, okay, I was afforded this opportunity and you see people, especially where we went to school. You see people every day that did not have the same opportunity that we did. So like,
and that's the good thing about college, though. Like, especially college in a city like Philly, where it's like a different culture and a different atmosphere. That people that you really do see people that's not growing up like us like every day. Like, you know, seeing people, because I always say African kids, even though some of us are different, we still raised pretty similar. There's certain I can tell Alex, and like even down to little things like sweet small, I never forget you, like stuff like random stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But That's the type of stuff we grew up on, and we also grew up on both being Nigerian. We grew up on like the fact that I think it's because we worked so hard our whole lives. We wanted a chance to chill
Mm-hmm.
instead of just keep going, keep going. I think that's what our parents tried to instill in us. That we should have probably
Keep going, like no matter what, you gotta keep going.
nobody. Life doesn't stop for nobody, man.
Exactly. And
Sorry.
what we can do is that once we get to that, once we get to where we want to go, we can start uplifting other people to get to where they want to go.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Right.
Because everybody eats.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, everybody eats. Like I always applaud with everybody else. When one of my friends tell me like, "Oh yeah, I got this new job here," like say I got this new job in GE or something. Like for example, I'd be like, "Oh, cool. That's cool." Chase. I'm like, "Oh, because one, why would I be like? It goes back to my first episode. Why would I be jealous of the next man? Like you just living your life, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You just living your life. Like at the end of the day, like why should I be jealous of that? If anything, I should celebrate that because that I hope you can celebrate me when my time comes.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And like it's kind of crazy. Like I also tell my younger self, be more humble.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Stop acting like you know it all.
Yeah.
You know. I come to it's crazy because every time it's like the moment I started college, the moment like that's when I realized like I'm not I'm smart, yes, but there's smarter people. It's like boxing, right? Like you think you're tough until you meet someone that can punch you in the face.
And bioengineering class of 2019, it was like Mike Tyson. They humbled you real quick.
Mike Tyson.
They like the kids in our class humbled you real quick.
Real quick, man. And those kids, man, like I don't even say kids, young men and women, like those kids. Wow, he said it again, huh? But those young men and women, like they, wow, they're doing big things now. Like a lot of those smart kids, like sometimes it was kind of envious. Like, why does he know this much? Like those kids are in med school right now.
Yeah, trying to save us, like especially because of this COVID right now, COVID-19. Like they're trying to save us right now. And you can do nothing but commend them.
Like some of them getting their PhD. They went from bachelor's to PhD. Like that's cool. I didn't even know you could do that. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool to me. Like I find that type of stuff cool because just like it inspires you a lot because you just really start thinking like these type of people. We were sitting in class with them. You know what I'm saying?
Busting jokes. Like.
Busting jokes. Now the next thing you know, they're doing stuff like that. It's like, wow. Even say I sat in that same seat as these people. It's like kind of cool. You know what I mean? And I'll tell my younger self like realize to just be in the room. Like you don't have to necessarily be of the room. You don't have to necessarily make the impact, but like just realize that you're in the room.
And like the people that you're around, they may seem like just regular students now, but they're gonna change the world.
Change the world. You know what I mean? Change the world. Change how we look at things, man. Like I go back every day. I self reflect every day. You know what I'm saying? I self reflect every day. I self reflect what I did, what I should have done better. What can never stay in my me again. And it's like I also self reflect on the past, man. A lot of people say don't dwell on the past, but I feel like you should dwell on the past. I'll be one of those guys that say please dwell on the past.
Dwell on that, Joe.
Because like don't dwell on it. Yeah, don't beat yourself up, but like you have to kind of remember the past and know that you never certain things have to be adjusted for your future.
Yeah, understanding your faults and understanding how to fix them or how to deal with them workarounds in field I would the field I work in is like a workaround.
Mm.
There's not you're not perfect, but there's things that you work around literally so you can function and you can thrive in the society. And like that's the thing you really have to learn. We're all trying to thrive here.
I mean, you can even say it outside of work though.
Yeah.
Right? Like I feel like I'm more comfortable talking to people like now than I used to be before. I used to be a shy guy. I always said that. It took me Like it took Melvin to like introduce me to you. I couldn't go up to you myself. Like, I was just like, man, well, I used to always think like, oh, what was he gonna say? I also tend to overthink. I'm trying to learn not to do. So like, I kind of always thought about that. Like, will he not like me? Will this guy like not help me out? And I could have been more wrong. And that's probably my fault because I should have made that bold step. But I'm thinking about it like, I should have made that bold step. Like I'm one of those people that once you talk to me, I can talk to you all day. But like, why can't I just talk to you off the rip? You know, why couldn't I just be more social off the rip? And that's probably even aspects even like getting jobs and all that. Cause yeah, you know what I'm saying? Why am I not more as social as I should be? Why, I'm social now, but like, why couldn't you be more social back then? So I think the topic is like, for myself, my tip, sorry, is to just like, yeah, you gotta put yourself out there. Like, people aren't gonna wait for you to be the social guy you think you are. You gotta do that for yourself.
No, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? For yourself. And once you were able to do that for yourself, it's kind of easy for real. I don't know, man. Like, what do you think for real? What do you think about that?
I think it's great. Like you really got to put yourself out there and understand. Like, what did my mom say when she was talking about always when you're asking a question, the worst thing that they're gonna say is no.
Mm.
And like once I heard that, I was just like, yeah, okay. Like that's what got me to apply for all those jobs. That's what's got me to consulting. That's what's got me to ask for things that I did like where before I didn't think I should ask for that. Maybe a salary increase or a position that I may not have been qualified for, but I thought I could do. The worst thing they're gonna say is no. Yeah. So it's like putting yourself out there and like making those connections and making those decisions that you think will get you in a better place. Just do it. Nike, man. For real, just do it.
Childish. My man said Nike. Just do it.
Hey.
What's Adidas?
I don't even know, but I got them on my feet though.
You know what I'm saying? That's felt funny as well, right? You gotta really look at like, I gotta be another podcast topic, like find out what all the shoe.
My shoe collection.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Childish.
Hey, bro, being in Chicago, I'm a Jordan connoisseur now. It's kind of ridiculous. Like my first house is gonna have its own closet for just my sneakers.
That's normal.
Yeah.
You thought I was gonna clown it, right?
Nah. That's my vice, and like I appreciate my vice, you know.
Yeah. Overall, I think we did a great deal today, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really look at yourself, I kind of, even though I say those stuff I'll tell myself, like stuff that worked was my perseverance, the stuff that worked was my hard work. I kind of wouldn't change a thing. I feel like I wouldn't have landed where I was if I changed even an ounce of what I should be. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't change a thing. Yeah, would I want to prove back then? Sure, but like, now look at me, like, I feel like I'm good. I still got ways to go, but like, how you start is not how you finish. You always it's always the in between. It's always the journey that takes you there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I learned because struggling with you, like, I won't even say struggling, like working with you. You know what I mean? Is like working with you, working with Mel. Where us three sit in those rooms, and really study. It was like it's like we made a dream team, right?
Yeah.
We made a dream team but like we also made a brotherhood.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll never die, yo.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and with that being said, like I learned like you can do that. Like friendships form out the weirdest things, bro. And like when you maintain a friendship, it also enables you when you meet with the right people, you can grow as a person.
Yeah.
Certain people come in your life. Some people are just destined to be in your life to change your life, bro. Mm-hmm. Better force, it's up to you, but like change your life.
Absolutely, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
You have anything else, man? You learned anything today?
I learned to appreciate you because you were good at this job. I'm not gonna hold you.
They talk about me gassing you.
Yeah.
Gas me up.
Yes, man. I'm just trying to be like you, for real.
Oh, this guy.
Nah, but I mean, this is a good time to reflect and understand. Like, even like me being around, because I've been around for a while. Like this whole last 2 weeks, and being back in Philadelphia made me realize how much like I miss my friends and how much like we went through. And like understanding, like like these kids. Without these kids, I wouldn't have graduated college.
Yeah.
So, I mean, other than that, I just want to say R.I.P. Ahmaud Arbery.
R.I.P.
Breonna Taylor,
of course,
and R.I.P. George Floyd.
R.I.P. This is going to be a topic I want to talk about later, which I will talk about later. But R.I.P. for right now. R.I.P. to those people.
You didn't die in vain.
You did not die in vain. You are still remembered. You are loved.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We are supporting you, and it's time, man. Like it's time for us. All I'm gonna say is it's time for us to start stepping up, man.
Yeah.
It's time for us to start bringing this conversation on the open, And I'm gonna end it at that just because I know it'll be a whole nother topic for a whole nother time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. man. R.I.P. to you, great people. Like I said, you are not forgotten. You are remembered, and you are loved. Rest in power. I say forever. With that being said, hey man, this is the thank you. This is the what's going on. Like, thank you so much for joining me, Alex. Thank you so much for like coming on here for taking the time out your busy schedule. To come on here. Thank you so much to the viewers for watching the What's Going On podcast. This is all for today's episode, man. Let them know where they can find you.
What was it? Twitter Swink Alex. IG _ Swink Alex.
Yeah.
Bro, it's Swank Alex everywhere. It's Swank to the world,
dude. Swank,
man.
And of course, you already know where you can find me at, man. My main page is Dada 2_ the 2_ Don. And of course, you can follow the What's Going On podcast page at what_SGOINGONPOD. That's what's _ going on pod. And like I said, we're going to be on platforms. We're going to be on SoundCloud. We're going to be on Spotify. Wherever you want to listen to the podcast, wherever you want to share your thoughts, share your feelings, man. We're going to be there. We're here for you. And I just want to appreciate y'all for tuning in today. This is it's a great topic. I feel like we could really push the conversation forward. And always, man, like I said, it's always good talking to you, man. It's always good talk every time we talk, man.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, without further ado, I'm just close off here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This is What's Going On.